Things you should never listen to from a marriage guidance counselor. First one is trial separation. You should have a trial separation to see how things go. No, trial separation is going to make sure you end up divorced. You may think that moving away from your partner because there's communication problems is going to make things easier or is going to provide a better platform, take the heat out of things. No. In fact, it's going to do exactly the opposite. It's going to make you feel more estranged. You're going to feel, initially at least, more relieved that all the arguing or problems or the silence, whichever it might be, has now stopped. And that's going to feel better initially. But then you're going to get used to it. And then you think that's a better solution than actually finding the underlying reason why you guys are not allowing love to flow to each other. People don't fall out of love. They fall into resentment. And resentment builds when your needs are not being met. The second thing that a guidance counselor, relationship guidance counselor is going to tell you is that you need to focus in on whatever the problem is. And they will discuss the problem over and over again. The problem is, the more you focus on something, the bigger it gets. So they're going to say the problem is the lack of sex in the relationship. And let's work together to see how we can, provide more sex in the relationship. The problem is not sex. The problem is a lack of communication that's led to less sex in the relationship. The problem is a lack of connection that has led to less sex in the relationship. The problem is the kids are always arguing. No, the problem is not the kids are always arguing. The problem is that the kids are being a reflection of what's going on in the uncertainty and the instability you're creating in the relationship, which is making the kids act out. When you solve the communication problem between the two of you, the whole issue with the kids will disappear. And this could go on any topic that you might think is the issue in the relationship. It is never those things. But we'll be very, very clear about that. They are symptoms of the underlying communication problem in the relationship. I'll say it again. Whatever topic you're arguing over, doesn't matter what it seems like, whether it's your mother-in-law or work or money, those things are symptoms of what's going on in the relationship. So never believe a counselor, because when you focus in on that, it is just going to get bigger and bigger. You're never going to come to a solution. And the last one is, if a counselor says, well, yes, they're the problem. Completely wrong. I know you don't want to hear it, but the truth is, if you feel the effect, you're part of the cause. In some way, even when someone is being not nice to you, generally if you've got someone who is trying to be controlling or domineering, the other person, their part in that dynamic is not speaking up, is not having a voice, is not standing up for themselves. And that then literally by their behavior tells the other person to be more controlling. And I know that may not initially make sense, but if you think about it, it'll make a lot of sense. So if you're with a counselor who's telling you that they're the problem, that's setting up a dynamic where that person feels persecuted. They feel like you're picking on them. They feel like they're being blamed for the relationship. And you think they're fully going to participate in it. So ladies, if you're wondering why your man is not coming to those sessions, that's probably the answer. Because he feels like he's being told that he's the problem. And you have to have a balance between the two. And it's not about blame. It's never about blame. It's about finding what works and what's the solution to actually solving why you're providing blocks in your relationship to allow love to flow between the two of you. And don't give up on love. Just because it's difficult right now, don't give up on love. Don't go become one of these people that becomes, oh, I'm going to be single and I'm so much happier. No, you're hiding in safety right now. You've given up on love and chosen safety instead of love. That's all they've done. And that is not a solution.